Gemini does not arrive. Gemini appears. Like wind brushing the curtains on a still afternoon. Like a thought you can't unthink. Like laughter echoing after everyone's gone home. There is something ungraspable, uncontainable about Gemini energy, and that is precisely why no one can resist it. You don't chase a Gemini, you orbit them. They are not here to be explained. They are here to be felt. Two souls living within one form, dancing between dualities with an elegance only the cosmos can script. At times, they are the whisper of curiosity in your mind. Other times, the full-blown thunderstorm of questions that shakes your soul awake. And yet, beneath all this movement, all this expression, all this chaos of light and shadow, lies the secret no one tells. The deepest power of Gemini is not their charm, not their wit, not their captivating presence. It's their ability to mirror the soul of everyone they meet. They don't just speak, they channel. They don't just listen, they absorb. They reflect parts of you you didn't even know were still alive. You don't forget a conversation with a Gemini, not because of what was said, but because of what was awakened inside you. So if you feel magnetically drawn to someone and you can't explain why, if they make you feel seen and simultaneously exposed, if they bring out the parts of you you hide from others, and somehow you're grateful for it, you might just be in the presence of Gemini soul. If you're already starting to see yourself in this, maybe it's time you subscribe to this channel. This space is made for souls like yours, searching, unfolding, dancing with the divine. You see, most people talk about Gemini as the sign of duality, but that's only the surface. What lives deeper is multiplicity, a sacred chaos of selves. One moment soft, the next sharp. One moment the poet, the next the rebel. Their mind is an entire galaxy with no center, and the only constant is motion. This is not instability, it's spiritual agility.
Geminis are the bridge between logic and magic, between intellect and instinct. They hold paradoxes the way others hold grudges, tightly, completely, unashamedly. And maybe that's why they can make anyone feel at home. Because they don't expect you to be consistent. They know the beauty of contradiction. They live it. If you've ever known a Gemini who left a mark on your heart, share your zodiac sign and birth date in the comments. This is more than a video. It's a constellation of shared energy. Let's find each other among the stars. There's a reason people say Geminis are unforgettable. It's not just because they're clever, humorous, or curious, though they often are all that and more. It's because they have the rare ability to wake up what's asleep in you. Geminis don't just speak to you, they speak through you. Like an ancient voice you didn't know lived in your chest, suddenly whispering truths you'd buried beneath layers of silence. Their questions aren't small talk, they are keys. And if you're brave enough to answer honestly, you find yourself walking through doors inside yourself you didn't even know existed. Gemini energy is like divine disruption. You don't leave an encounter with them the same way you entered. You leave with more questions, yes, but also with more aliveness. That's why people return to them after the storm. That's why some never recover when a Gemini walks away. Because they didn't just lose a person, they lost the mirror that showed them a version of themselves they actually liked. And perhaps this is what truly sets Gemini apart. Their ability to carry so many selves within, yet still offer space for your soul to be seen. In their presence, you feel like you could say the wildest thing that's ever crossed your mind, and they'd not only understand, they'd add to it. They don't judge, they expand. And in a world so full of people who only want you to shrink to fit their mold, Gemini becomes the breath of liberation. If this truth touches something in you, Take a second now to like this video. Your energy matters. And when you show love, you allow this message to reach more souls who are just as curious, just as open, just as beautifully complex. But don't confuse Gemini's lightness with superficiality. Don't assume that because they can flow between topics, people, passions, they're not rooted. What you see on the surface is only the shimmer. Underneath lives a mind that never stops weaving, a heart that absorbs everything, often too much, and a soul that is starved for truth, even if they laugh to hide it. Because here's the hidden ache of Gemini. They are constantly misunderstood, celebrated for their brightness, but rarely held in their depth, admired for their intellect, but often abandoned when they show emotion. They feel everything, but they've learned to speak in riddles because directness often scares people away. They joke to protect their tenderness. They shift because stillness sometimes feels like exposure. And so many fall in love with Gemini's light, but few are brave enough to love their shadows. The truth is, Gemini has seen things, not just in the world, but in people. They have looked into eyes that said one thing and felt the energy that said another. They've sat in rooms full of noise and still caught the silence behind someone's smile. They read between lines, between gestures, between breaths. This is the spiritual gift they carry, the inner radar that picks up what most ignore. But it's not always a blessing, because once you see what's unspoken, it's hard to pretend you didn't. Geminis live in a constant state of translation, decoding, interpreting, understanding before others even realize they're being understood. And that can be lonely. That's the paradox no one talks about. Geminis are surrounded, admired, wanted, but they often feel like strangers in rooms full of people. Because while others are captivated by their brilliance, they're craving someone who sees the storm beneath the spark. If you've ever been that Gemini, the one who smiles wide but feels the ache behind the grin, this space is for you. Make sure you subscribe now, because these messages are crafted for the soul behind your smile, not just the face you show the world. The magic of Gemini is not in choosing one version of themselves to be. It's in honoring them all. They are living proof that you don't have to pick between passion and peace, intellect and emotion, logic and chaos. You can be it all and still be real. In fact, your authenticity is multiplied when you stop dimming parts of yourself to make others more comfortable. The world teaches us to be linear. Gemini says, no thank you. The soul is a spiral, a maze, a poem, and they will live like that, unapologetically. But don't let their beauty make you think they haven't bled. Every Gemini has a turning point, a moment when they realize their ability to connect doesn't mean everyone deserves access to their light. And that moment transforms them. They go from being the butterfly to being the storm behind its wings. They become selective, not out of arrogance, but protection. They begin to understand that their presence is a spiritual experience, and not everyone is ready for that level of clarity. If you're still here, something in your soul is vibrating with this message. Maybe you are a Gemini, maybe you love one, or maybe you are becoming one in energy, learning to hold your truth with grace, your duality with power, your voice with freedom. Tell us in the comments, what's your zodiac sign, and when were you born? Let's map the energy of this moment, soul by soul. There comes a moment in every Gemini's life when the noise of the world no longer matters, when the outside voices grow quiet and the only sound that matters is the one within. That's when everything changes. That's when Gemini steps into their divine power. Not the kind that needs applause, but the kind that resonates silently, like the frequency of the stars.
Because real power doesn't scream, it vibrates. And when Gemini vibrates from their center, aligned with their truth, they become a cosmic event. Not everyone can explain it, but everyone feels it. People lean closer, speak softer, open up deeper, because something about a grounded Gemini feels like safety wrapped in mystery, freedom disguised as a smile. They are no longer trying to prove their worth. They know they are the message. They walk into rooms and shift the temperature, not because they demand attention, but because their energy is alive. There's electricity in their laughter, but also poetry in their silence. A Gemini in full alignment doesn't need to control the moment, they become the moment. And this perhaps is the hidden force that no one talks about. When a Gemini learns to stop chasing understanding and starts embodying presence, their light becomes almost too powerful to look at directly, because now they are not just dual, they are whole. They are not just words, they are wisdom, not just air, but sacred breath, not just curiosity, but ancient knowing dressed as wonder. In a world desperate for labels and neat definitions, Gemini remains gloriously undefinable. They are not here to fit in boxes, they're here to break them open, to show that you can be layered and still be authentic, that you can be full of questions and still be wise, that you can change, evolve, move, and still be rooted in something real. They are the storm and the stillness, the chaos and the clarity, the contradiction and the completion. If you're listening to this and feeling like these words were written with your heartbeat in mind, then maybe your soul carries the frequency of Gemini too, regardless of where the stars placed your sun. And if you know someone like this, someone who both heals and provokes, who both holds you and frees you, you know exactly what this energy feels like. You don't forget it. It leaves a mark on your spirit, not just your memory.
So take a moment, breathe with that. Let it settle into your chest. And if you feel called, like this video as a way to say, yes, I feel this, I am this, I know this. Because energy responds to energy, and your presence here isn't random, it's alignment. And don't leave without subscribing. This channel was created for souls like yours, for hearts that crave something beyond surface-level astrology. Here, we go deeper. We speak to the parts of you that don't have words yet. We name the unspoken. We honor the unseen. Before we close, I invite you to share your zodiac sign and your birth date in the comments. Not for the algorithm, but for the connection. Because when you do, you become a light point in this constellation of souls. And someone else out there might see your comment and feel less alone, less strange, more understood. This isn't just a community, it's a cosmic reunion. And Gemini is the spark that brings us all together. Not because they want to be the center, but because they are the bridge between soul and mind, between you and the parts of you you're still discovering. So if you take nothing else from this message, let it be this: you are not too much. You are just too alive for a world that's forgotten how to feel. And that is your gift. That is your power. That is your Gemini. Let your light flicker in 1,000 directions. Let your truth evolve as you do. Let your questions guide others home. And above all, stay wild, stay brilliant, and stay you. Because no one can resist the force of a soul that remembers who it is. And Gemini, you are unforgettable.
always have been, always will be.